Hey, everybody. That is Gary Smith.
Hello.
That is Kaz Kenny.
Kapow!
And I am Eddie Bramble, and this is episode 30 of the Blackwaters Edge podcast. Episode 30. Guys, we're getting along.
That's almost
That's
as
the
old
big
as you
3-0.
are, Eddie.
Yeah.
That's almost as old as you, Eddie. I had to.
All right, Kaz, start us off with this week's fishing report.
Well, it's been hazy, hot, and humid. It's supposed to get hot again this weekend, so it's going to get tricky just like any other day of the year. So we're seeing some snakeheads over 335 up in that area, of course. You know, just pretty much catching fish everywhere. A few catfish here and there showing up. Of course, everybody's catching crabs while they're snakehead fishing, so that's always a bonus to take home. A couple dozen crabs back to steam for you and your buddies just after catching some snakeheads. That's a hell of a meal where I'm from. A few white perch, a few eels. I mean, it's not too much in the refuge other than snakeheads, and a few bass. So just keeping that real.
Just plenty of carp for the carp lovers.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I know, Gary, today you got out there driving around today. You took Mr. Rick on a little ride, and I know you was talking about you've seen so many carp out there and shad, it wasn't even funny.
Shad, carp, and eagles, man. We got plenty of them.
We just can't eat the eagles, but you can eat just about everything else we got. So.
They're still pretty wide, so.
Right.
Absolutely.
Let's see what else. I mean, that's pretty much about it. On the salt side, I mean, we're seeing some a few black drum. We're seeing some white perch. We're seeing lots of stripers here and there, some speckled trout. We know they're everywhere. The trout this year have just been phenomenal. The Hunger River is still on fire with trout. Slaughter Creek, Madison Bay, Little Chop Tank, all them places are holding really, really nice class of trout. So don't be afraid to go out there and give them a try. Twister tails are really good. We've got some other lures here at the store that we've got specifically for trout that you can come and you can check out. As far as snakeheads go, the best bite still seems to be on the inline spinners, you know, no matter what kind you're using. MEPS preferably, just because they're sponsoring the podcast and we give them away. So we know that a lot of people have been catching on the MEPS, especially our good friend Leroy. He keeps pounding away with them. So that's good to see him and his grandson. This week, we had some pretty special stuff happen for some of our crew here. We had Sean Russell.
Oh, yeah.
He did a thing this week,
With his blowgun.
Yeah, and go ahead, Eddie. Why don't you tell me about what Sean Russell did?
Well, Sean, I think they say it's the first on record.
That's what they're saying.
I think so, yeah. The first one on record, first blowgun on a ray. So on a stingray.
So this could be a new world record for Sean. This is something big for him.
Very
cool. It's really cool because we've watched Sean kind of come up from the beginning, coming
Absolutely.
here and getting his start here and kind of teaching him a few things. So it's really good to see some of our guys, successfully moving forward in the industry and with what they're doing. We've had a lot of big things happen here this week for us, which we'll get into later in the podcast, as far as with some politicians, some things that are going on here with the parking and other things like that. But as far as fishing goes, it's pretty much what it's been the last couple weeks to a month, pretty much same everything. We are seeing a few fish down, the Hooper's Island area off the causeway there, We're seeing some few croaker I'm hearing are showing up.
That's good to hear.
I don't want to get too excited about that, but that is confirmed. There have been a few croaker that have been caught here in the nets. Not very big, 4 to 6 inches, but just the simple fact that we now see them coming back into the equation right behind what we're seeing with these speckled trout is kind of the same thing that we saw 15, 20 years ago when we had that massive croaker run come. So maybe this is something building up over the next course of a year or two, and maybe we're going to see them come back. We already are seeing the return of those drum that reproduced last year here. We're seeing them in the nets. I know that Damien, he's down there potting, and he's seeing lots of spot, lots of little baby red drum, some little baby black drum. So that's just, little baby speckled trout. Just a lot of stuff in the bait, that we're catching to sell. And so just some of the stuff that we're seeing here is really, really cool. A lot of people talk about water quality. And I think, if anything, this says that the water quality here on the Eastern Shore is definitely looking better. It's getting better, and the quality of the fish that we're seeing is getting better each year here the last couple of years. So maybe it's that time for a little flip in what we've seen. You know what I mean?
Look at the clarity of the water this year.
Yeah,
Apparently.
oh my God, big difference.
Still clear.
A lot of grass this year that we haven't seen. I've seen a lot of oysters in a lot of places I haven't seen any oysters for a little bit, so that's a good thing to see too. So anyway, just come on down, bring your rod, bring your cooler, and bring your belly, because you'll catch enough fish to go back and fill that thing when you get home and you're hungry. So that's where I'm at with the fishing report.
All right, so this week we've got Ricky Abend from Friends of Blackwater. How you doing, Ricky?
Great.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
A little about myself. Let's see. Well, I was born and raised in Anne Arundel County, right across the Bay Bridge, and I had a 30-year career with the federal government. And actually, I guess during that time when I was growing up, my brothers got me over here in Dorchester County, and now I live here, but I've been coming here for, let's see, I don't know, 55 years or so, something like that. So I just kind of fell in love. They were the first ones to take me to Blackwater Refuge, and
Your brother was?
yep,
That's good.
they
So
brought
you
me
were
down
3
here.
months old first time you came over here.
Yeah, they brought me down here hunting, and then I ended up buying my own property, and I've now that I've actually I've retired a little early. I retired when I was 48, and so I've been living here for 22 years now, and got to do a lot of volunteer work. Of course, the Friends of Blackwaters, I guess I'm going to say my favorite, or one of my favorites, because I also volunteer on the Dorchester County Dorchester County Forestry Board, and I'm also on the Maryland Tree Farm Committee.
Very good.
I'm chair of that, so
You're pretty involved. You must stay pretty busy.
Very
always.
Rick, tell us about your place, what you do with it.
Well, our
your
farm is in Madison, Maryland. Right, for those of you who know where the Madison campground is, and what was the restaurant there. My farm's right across the highway, and it's 106 acres, and half of it we're growing timber, and the other half is in crops, which I don't do that farming. We lease that out, but. My wife and I, Kathy, we do a lot of forestry and wildlife management, and got all kind of nesting box programs going on for bluebirds and wood ducks, and so our farm has really become a showcase as far as a tree farm goes. We've been managing it for quite a while now. We actually got involved in the American tree farm system. I think 1989. So it's 31 years ago. For those unfamiliar with the tree farm system, it's really all about sustainable forestry. If you look at a tree farm sign, and on the four sides of it it's wood, water, wildlife, and recreation, and that's the things we're trying to do with our farm. And so we're in using the farm. We're big on not just the hunting and fishing and wildlife photography that we love to do, both of us, but conservation education. We've had hundreds, and I can't even tell you how many hundreds of people have toured our farm by the busload. We've even had delegations from China coming to see how we do our forestry. So it's a lot of fun.
So how'd you get involved into that?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. What drove you? What drove you to that?
Well, like I said, my brothers brought me down here for the hunting part, and when I bought the place there in Madison, it was really just to have my own place to hunt. But it had timber on it, and I knew I had to take care of it. And I didn't know a darn thing about that. I worked with computers most of my life, so. But what I ended up doing, I took some correspondence courses using my veterans benefits, and it got me pointed in the right direction. And I ended up going to the Soil Conservation Service and our county forester, and it just for probably years, I went to them constantly looking for help. And there's lots of free help out there. I'm going to tell you that. And eventually, my place evolved, and it's now kind of a showcase. Whenever the forester has a tour going on in Anne Arundel County, he says, "Hey, can I bring these folks to your place?"
Wow, that's great.
So
Well, you also have a Airbnb, correct? Or Airbnb, excuse me.
Yeah. We use part of our home for a bed and breakfast, and that, we kind of. We're looking at it as just a way of additional income. It's it was built kind of like a in-law suite, so but it's all private. but our guests have the whole use of the farm, and they can fish in the pond or walk the trails, do wildlife photography.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's really been cool. It's been a blessing to us. We've met so many people. We got invitations to Paris and
Oh, wow.
I mean that's kind of like the coolest thing
Jeremy?
about the whole Eastern Shore aura. You know what I mean? Just the kindness, the way we help each other, and the way that we just want to pass on what we learn to new people. You know.
Yeah.
I guess that we definitely want to tell the folks out there that, hey, if you're coming down here to Dorchester County and need a place to sleep and you want to, check out some things that you may have never seen before. I mean, Rick and all those people over there will show you everything you need to see. I mean, if you want to do some, like he's saying, wildlife photography, and if you've never snakehead fished and you want to come, I'm sure he could help point you in the right direction of, where you can come talk to somebody about snakeheads or something like that, So this is really cool, because this is like I was telling Eddie before the show, I think the coolest thing about the whole podcast is we're opening doors to things that people have never seen. And like this whole tree farm thing is kind of like new to me, just sitting here listening to you talk about it. So I think the neatest part is not only are we doing a good thing here with the show, but I mean, Rick even just said it, education, reaching out to the public and sharing with people,
Education opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's just like this week. I've had a great week this week. I've got a good job and I've got a better hobby. I mean, this week, Monday morning, I met
Which hobby is this?
Marcia, the manager of Blackwater. Met her. I took her out and we toured the Blackwater. She'd never been back by river. She'd been some of the spots by land, but we went all the way back to the weir. And this morning I met Rick and Kathy. We did the same thing. You can't beat that, man.
No.
I mean, we see 12, 15 eagles today, probably.
Oh, easily.
Yeah.
So back to like this whole little tree farm thing and this Airbnb thing. So when the people come to visit you, like we know you like to do the wildlife photography and all that kind of stuff too. What is the one thing that you want people that come to stay at your bed and breakfast, or they come and spend time with you? What is the one thing that you want people to leave from you with? You know what I mean? Like what is most important to you, I guess, like when you're sharing with somebody here about the property and the trees and the cycle, what do you want that person to leave from you with?
I'm basically a forest and wildlife enthusiast. So, but most people come here, this whole area, I mean, people come to relax.
Yeah.
People come with like interests that we have. And also kayakers, bicyclists, the Ironman, Eagle Man. It's just hunters, fishermen. We've got quite a few folks that come for the hunting and fishing, and so we give them a taste of what we live with every day. And it's a lot of people come, and it's interesting because they come in and we're going to get up early. We're going to do this, and this. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Not here.
11 o'clock, they come crawling out.
That's right.
Well, I just went out and watched the sunrise. Hey, let's hop back in bed for another 2 hours before we do anything today.
Well, I've had people come down and say that they can't sleep because there's not enough noise.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So our place is called Madison Nature Getaway, and the website is madisonnaturegetaway.com, and you can also look that up on Airbnb and to find us. And we have a good time. We've got some of the wildlife photography that we've done there on the farm is on the site.
Yeah.
And that brings people out. One of the things I love mainly about the farm is the fact that we get so many wood ducks in the spring. I love the wood ducks, and it's just phenomenal in the springtime. I might get 60 to 100 wood ducks in my pond at one time.
So that must mean you don't have many snakeheads in your ponds then.
No snakeheads yet.
Oh, it was
day.
funny. It was funny this morning. We left and we're headed out, and we get nowhere, and we see eagles. So
Get nowhere.
I stop, and Miss Kathy has a little, like a handbag, a little beach baggy thing, and she reaches down in there, and it's like the Carbano effect. I don't know if you've ever seen that magic show. She reaches in there, and she pulls out this camera that's 4 feet long. And how'd she do that? And then she goes whoop, and it goes right back in there.
Yeah. I'll put a plug in. That was my birthday present.
That's a nice
There you
present.
go.
It's a Nikon P1000.
Oh.
And it one lens. It zooms from, I think, 34 millimeter to 3,000 millimeter.
Oh wow.
And it's just we've got some awesome pictures with it.
No doubt. That's fantastic.
What is your favorite thing to take pictures of?
Probably the ducks.
The ducks.
But we have this motto: if it, I forget the exact words. If it walks, flies, crawls, slithers, it's fair game. You know, we don't. We'll take pictures of snakes and dragonflies and deer and turkeys, and we got some awesome turkey pictures this year.
That's good.
I think one of the neatest birds that I see here is probably the indigo buntings. I don't know what it is about those birds.
Yeah.
But those birds have always intrigued me since, I think it was probably Wayne, you know, because we had a pair that nested on Button's Neck right outside of the trail that we had there on the hunting property. And he would sit there for hours and just watch these birds. And I never really got it or understood it until one
They're cool
day.
little birds. You know, they're actually black.
Well, I don't know much about him. What I do know is that I didn't feel what he felt looking at those birds at that time.
Yeah.
And then a time came, I want to say, like, it was weeks after that. He wasn't there. I was there by myself. I was sitting on the porch, and I just happened to look over in that bush, and I saw the two of them. And I just watched them for, like, I don't know, probably 10 or 15 minutes, but it seemed like forever. And, you know, I'd watch the one get down and open its wings on the pavement, you know, trying to flush a bug, you know, or scare a bug. And then the bug would move, and you'd see it grab the bug, and it would fly back into the bush. And I think what it was the depth of that blue that I saw that day, because the sun was behind me instead of in front of me like it had been so many times. And when the sun was behind me and I looked out ahead in the light and saw that blue kind of shimmer, I was like, wow.
Oh, they're gorgeous. I mean, right now there's so many flowers out right now.
Yeah.
We've got the indigo bunting, of course, the blue grosbeak, scarlet tanagers, coming into our bird bath almost every afternoon. So it's just a cool thing to watch.
What we saw was a kingbird today in his nest. That's kind of neat.
He went to his nest. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I hope that picture turns out okay.
So was that your coolest thing you took a picture of today? What was the coolest thing you think you got a picture of today?
Well, he showed us a lot of the beaver damage.
Yeah.
We didn't see the beaver, but we saw where he'd been.
Yeah.
Poor old beaver. We're trying to figure out what's wrong with him. He's
dropping.
trying to build a dam, and there's only trees on one side of the creek. So he can't go over the other side, you know, and drop trees from both sides. So what he's done, he's dropped them all the long way. They either fall over into the woods or down the path. He just dropped nothing in the river. And he's got probably 25 trees down, and he's killed another 100.
He's working twice
chewing
as
all
hard.
the way around them.
Yeah.
But he's got a little dam that sticks out about 3 feet from the side of the creek out.
How big are the trees that he's eating?
Most about 10 inch in diameter were
Still,
probably
that's
the
a
ones.
big ass tree, man.
Oh, he's having a blast.
Yeah, but he's dropping them the wrong way. Yeah. that was pretty cool.
So the forestry, the tree farm thing. So do you like I know, like, just from coming here for so many years, you know, like, you rotate areas and you cut areas and you regrow areas. So is that something that you guys do with that property there? Like, I've seen like some of the other places on 16 where they say this area designated, blah 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 blah.
Yep. That design, the sign that's right there across from Emily's Produce, when they cut that, I designed that sign to tell people what's going to happen there.
Oh,
that's
wow.
cool.
Okay.
Because people were calling the forestry office saying, "What's going on? Are they building houses?" And you know, they were worried to death.
Well, I'm glad you did that, because I'm one of the people that stopped and read that sign. So, you know, I received an education from that sign also. You
Rick,
know?
also, when you're going back to trails in Blackwater River, the green and purple trails, he did those signs too. He was telling me, that's one of my G's up there.
Oh, wow, how about that?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because he actually did the signs out here in front of the store too.
Yeah.
For if he didn't when Ed still had the place. So
Yep.
So let's talk about hunting. You said you like hunting. What do you like to hunt?
I mainly just deer hunt. I used to really be involved with duck hunting and goose hunting, and I'm slowing down. And I think going.
I was gonna ask it if you're like one of my uncles. They're too pretty to shoot nowadays. So.
No.
I think that's just his
Yeah.
excuse because he's slowing down. No, I'm just
No, I
kidding.
mean, I love to watch them. I love to photograph them, but I love to eat them.
That's right.
So, but I think as far as the waterfowl and the dove hunting, I had the great fortune of being able to go to Argentina on a trip
Oh, that's
several
cool.
years back, and that just kind of spoiled me to come back and only be able to shoot
Yeah, it's kind of
I've
like
seen
dove
some
hunting
of
on
them
another
hunts
plane
out
here.
there.
instead of I don't know, it was 4 of us shooting 5,000 doves.
Now, did you do any deer hunting when you went over there at all, or just duck hunting?
No, just duck hunting and dove hunting and a little bird they have called a perdue, like a pheasant kind of bird. But yeah, that was an awesome trip. But same with the ducks. I mean, we shot 500 ducks in a couple days.
You eating ducks for 5 years?
Fortunately, the local people were gladly ready to take them. You know, nothing went to waste.
That's always important. That,
Oh yeah,
that makes all the difference.
I don't shoot anything. We're not going to make sure it gets eaten.
Yep.
So what attracted you to deer hunting? What about deer hunting do you? I mean, what's your favorite part of that hunt?
Just the whole thing of just being out there and listening to the whole world wake up. You know, it's
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Listen to the world wake up.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
really good way of
Yeah.
describing
even if
it.
you don't see anything. And
Yeah.
trust me, I've spent my share of days in a deer stand.
Not
with
alone there,
seeing-
buddy.
Yeah. So you know, and then when you do shoot a deer, then the work starts. You know, but it's you know, I just really enjoy nature, and you never know what you're going to see when you're out there in the woods. So it's you know, I've got my wife says I'm living my dream right now because
You are.
You living most of our dreams.
and
That's
I'm kind of getting lazy because we, you know, we've got deer stands all over the farm, and my deer stand's right out behind my barn.
that's not lazy. That's just working smarter. That's all.
Not hard.
And I shot nice whitetail and nice sucker out of that stand.
There you go. Nothing lazy about that at all. Then.
What
So,
do you have a memorable hunt?
oh, a memorable hunt. I don't know. I'd say,
Or one that's up there, you know, like that?
I'd say probably bear hunting in Canada with my father.
Oh wow.
Let's hear about that.
Oh, it's lots of flies. That week.
I've seen that before. I've seen that
kind of
before.
sticks in my mind. I had to have the rifle refinished because of whatever the insect repellent I got from Sunny Surplus.
This is a good story already.
Ate the finish right
Yeah,
off
that's
of it.
not the thing to buy a discount.
Yeah, so it's like the head nets were not quite enough. You know, people warn you about the flies up there, but I mean it's just the scenery. We camped right up on a lake, and anything that you wanted cold, you just stuck out in the water. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it was in July, but the water was still pretty cold.
No doubt.
You didn't go swimming, that's for sure.
Did you come in with a bear?
The second year I did.
Good.
Yeah.
So you're also part of the Friends of Blackwater.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us about some of the projects you've worked on for the Friends?
Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit. The Friends, they've been around since 1987, and it's a nonprofit that supports the refuge. So I've been involved with it since 2005. And we look at a lot of the things that the refuge doesn't really have money in their budget to do. They look to us to figure out how to come up with it and get the project done. We raise a lot of money both through memberships and donations. We've had bequests and wills. We seek a lot of grants. And it's the bigger projects. They need grant support, and I'm just going to put a plug in there. Our Dorchester Tourism Office has been fantastic in helping us out in that area lately. We've had a lot of support from many organizations over the years, and I would say, and I don't know the exact number right now, but I'd say since I've been involved with the board, I'm gonna say we have probably come up with close to $2 million for refuge support.
That's
That
fantastic.
is
Tell
amazing.
us about some of the projects that
Yeah.
you've done, because I think I didn't know until we talked about this before, and it's pretty amazing to me.
Well, yeah. One of the things we were just talking about the weir that there on Parsons Creek. We actually got a grant to help do that. It was I think Doug Whittington put that thing in there, and it was to try to keep that salt water from getting back behind into the gooses and all. Gary was telling me about all the lily pads and everything used to be back there, which it's kind of everything gone there now, and that as far as freshwater goes. But those kinds of things. There's a pier on the Marsh Edge Trail. We were responsible for getting that pier replaced several years ago. The education building, if you go through into the Wildlife Drive, the big building on the right, the Friends got grants to do that, and we handed the refuge the keys. And that was back in 2007 we did that. And ever since then, we've had an educational program where all the 4th and 6th graders in Dorchester County come out to the refuge, spend the day out there, and we have a curriculum set up that's tied in with their science programs. And the Friends, whatever these kids need, we provide all the bus transportation. They need boots, seines, GPS units, binoculars, whatever. The Friends buys it. So that's a big part of what we do is environmental education with the refuge. We've also have a scholarship program for college students majoring in environmental sciences. And right now I think we started that in 2011, and we've just upped our game a little bit this year. We're giving out 3. We used to give 3 scholarships, up to 3. It was a $3,000, a $2,000, and a $1,000, and now we are giving 3 $3,000 scholarships out every year.
Fantastic.
And,
Did a little camera project too, didn't you?
yeah. Yeah. I was going to say also, the refuge gets interns every year. Usually the refuge has money to get a couple. This year the Friends started, or last year, the Friends started putting up, I think it's about $9,000 to get an intern there for the summer. And
Nice.
so it's, whatever the refuge we can do to increase their capability to do things for the public. The public experience is what we're really looking to improve. And one of the big things, especially I will say, I guess during this COVID period, where people weren't really able to get out a whole lot. I will say the Wildlife Drive, this whole time, the Wildlife Drive has been open, and the trails, except for the Marsh Edge Trail, because of a nesting eagle pair and a heron rookery back in there. But a lot of people that couldn't get to the refuge have been going on our webcams. We've got an osprey camera, an eagle camera, and a waterfowl camera, and so that's it's been awesome.
That's fantastic.
We haven't been having a whole lot of success. The birds, it's nature. so I'll
They
say,
just like play hardball.
yeah, we've had an osprey nest camera since like 2001, and a few years ago, the Friends actually paid to get Wi-Fi, high-speed internet into the refuge, and we provide the free Wi-Fi in the visitor center. We pay for that every month. But it also gave us the capability to have online streaming of the cameras. And that was our main reason for doing it. So we put this new system on the osprey cam, and we haven't had a successful osprey nesting since. But that particular cam, we've had eagles that like to dine there every morning and bring their fish there. And we've seen all kinds of herons, turkey vultures.
It's definitely cool to see.
Are you seeing more eagles eating snakeheads and things like that now on the platforms?
I've never actually seen them bring a snakehead up.
No.
No, usually it's something shinier. And I've really been surprised to see that how many deer pass under these cameras. You can look at some of our webmaster has put some videos together, and you can go on friendsofblackwater.org and get to our cameras. And it's some pretty.
There's a lot of cool stuff there.
neat things
I like poking around on this site and just every now and then going in there and looking at stuff.
Oh yeah, and there's one. I think there's one where it was like 5 or 6 sick deer just passing right underneath the camera. It was fantastic to see. That was a really good one.
Yeah. So last year, the Eagles had stopped using our Eagle Cam, so we've been kind of looking around for another nest. They stopped using the nest in I think it was 2017 or 18. So last year we found a nest that's maybe unfortunately a little close to Key Wallace Drive, but they hatched 2 eaglets out of it. So we went ahead and we got a grant from Dorchester Tourism Office, and we put a new camera system on this new nest. We have 2 cameras, one above the nest and one that's in a tree a little beside it, so we could have 2 views. The eagles changed nests.
Camera shot.
Yeah. So then we had a pair of owls.
Yes.
And they great horned owls, and they started coming to the nest every day, and we were all excited. And then I think it was February the 7th, we had a really bad storm, and the female owl left the nest right in the height of it, and we don't know if she just got slammed into a tree or whatever happened. Something happened to her, and the male was coming back for several nights, bringing food to the nest during the night, but she never did come back. So, but we've got a lot of eagles. We haven't given up hope. Kathy and I were on the wildlife drive last month, and on a real windy day, and we counted 20 eagles just riding around the wildlife drive. So, and we know we've some of the nests that are along the drive. We know we've hatched. One of them hatched 3 eaglets this year, or fledged 3 eaglets. Another one had 2. I think another one had 2. I'm not sure on that one. But so there's going to be lots of eagles around, and we're hoping. There was just some eagles in our Eagle Cam nest the other day. So
that's good news. We talk about it all the time how much the eagles have taken off here in probably the past 15, 20 years.
We saw a couple nests today, one in particular. That time you couldn't put it in a pickup.
Yeah.
I mean, it's huge.
Well, just send me a GPS coordinate, so if I ever lose my place, I might be able to set up camp in that thing.
Too big for Amazon to ship.
But so as far as projects, all of the walking trails that was all done with grants by the Friends group. The water trails, it's like 25 miles of water trails. The green trail, the purple trail, and the orange trail. The purple trail is probably kind of boring. There's a lot of open waters because of the sea level rise. The path is kind of straightened out now. But yeah, we just the signs Gary was talking about. We have a G's that are painted green, and P's that are painted purple, and O's that are painted orange to mark those trails. And looking out there today, I want to improve that a little bit on the green trail at least. But new signage. But everything. A lot of people go to the refuge and they go in the visitor center and just see everything around there. And it's like, wow, look what the government did. And it's.
I'm glad you're clarifying that.
But it's like you said, you build the building, you give them the keys. You guys don't take credit. You're not doing it for glory.
Oh no,
you're doing it for conservation.
No. Right. And then there's a lot of things that get done at the refuge. I don't know how they get done exactly, but we just last 2 years ago, I guess, we paid to have the handicap door openers put on the Refuge Visitor Center. I don't know how they didn't do that while it was being built.
Right.
You know?
You'd think something like that would be standard in the plans.
Code or something, somewhere in the code.
And they changed the design on the visitor center front door, and then we paid to put ice shields up on the roof because now it's a flat roof coming towards the sidewalk, and there's just lots of things and the beneficial insect garden out back.
Yeah.
And we maintain that every year, and the volunteers at Blackwater are just awesome. I mean, it's just they figured out. I think last year it was over 10,000 hours, something like that. It was like
wow.
five and a half full-time employees is what the value of that was.
How many volunteers do you guys normally work with?
You know what? I don't know the answer to that. I mean, we have Friends volunteers, and then we have Refuge Service volunteers,
right.
and a lot of us wear both hats. You know, it's as far as the Friends group itself, our fundraising involves a ladies' wild goose chase, and we need like 40 or 50 volunteers just to put that thing on. But the service volunteers in general, there's I don't know, it's probably. Well, I don't want to give a number because I'm sure it's going to be wrong. But Michelle Whitbeck is the volunteer coordinator at the Refuge, keeps track of all their hours, and then what we normally do is have a volunteer dinner, an awards dinner, and they give certificates out for certain milestones of number of hours, and the Friends pays for the dinner, and. One of the other things, of course, that got canceled this year because of COVID.
Along with everything else.
One of the other things we do is we have a Friends Volunteer Appreciation Crab Feast, and we usually do that over at the Harriet Tubman State Park, and it looks like we're going to be canceling that this year. It's usually in October. I'll just mention the pond there behind the Harriet Tubman. The Friends we have a kids fishing derby we've been doing since like 2003, every first Saturday in June. And again, it got canceled this year, but the Friends for years would stock that pond there behind the state park, and the kids would come out, and it's just really, really gratifying seeing kids out there with their parents or grandparents, and some of them fishing for the first time. So we caught our first snakehead in there about 3 years ago, and then I think the year before last we didn't catch hardly anything. But we did stop stocking the pond. We're not going to waste money feeding the snakeheads. Last year, just about everything we caught was snakeheads.
So I helped last year with the DNR for their 4th of July event that we put in over there at the Tubman site, and we used the pond. And I think Eddie came over for that for a short time, and I did a little bit of a seminar there for the crowd to teach them how to, talk about how to catch them. And I was blown away at how many snakeheads we caught in. It was only a few hours that we did this thing. It was like 4 hours.
I'm more blown away by how many people missed in that pond.
Yeah.
My God, that pond is loaded up.
I mean, and I think that the best thing was, you've said it a million times, the kid that got that big one, that little kid,
Was it a 9-pound snakehead?
Yeah, it was like 9-10 pounds. But he was there before the show and listened to me talk, and he came over and he was walking by me, and I says, man, he goes, can I just tell you the story? I said, sure. So I got down on my knees, and he sat there, and he never, ever let that 9-pound fish touch the ground, man. Yeah. He just stood there for that whole 20-minute conversation telling me about how the line hit the water and it went down. His brother, the rod went in, was getting ready to go over, and his brother saw it, and he grabbed it and jumped on it before he went splashing in the water and swimming with the snakeheads, and they were going to eat him. And, I mean, that's what I love about that kind of stuff,
I can't wait till next year. I can't. That's
Oh, yeah.
we know those fish are growing, and to see a kid come up with a fish that's half as
Yeah.
long.
That's
as
how it was with
is.
him. Yeah, he's just sitting there the
12,
whole
13
time.
pound fish.
He's shaking like this, holding him. Like, you want to put your fish down? Oh no, I'm not putting it down at all. I'm holding it. You know. So,
The fish was as tall as he was. It was just
Oh,
crazy
oh,
to see.
And it was really nice. The last one we had, one of our volunteers, if people wanted, she was actually going ahead and filleting the fish if they
That'd be
wanted
cool.
to take them home. And of course I think she's gone and she's up in Pennsylvania, but we're hoping she comes back for that. So, but anything we can do to help with the kids.
yeah, if we can help with anything like that, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd be more than happy to pitch in on something like
So
that.
any of those big projects, and we were talking about the access and the refuges. Trust me, they are working on trying to do something to alleviate the parking
Oh yeah.
problems.
And I think they're trying to do some stuff to try to help with the control of the snakeheads by maybe possibly opening up some new areas for us too. So that's I think that's like the biggest. I think that's the biggest kapow out of all of it. You know that it so long has gone by that they haven't really given anybody this kind of access. You know what I mean?
Well, it's never been requested.
Right.
Right.
And
No.
the fact that they're willing to give us the opportunity to give us the chance to show them that we are responsible enough to take on the acquisition of any extra area that they would allow us to use, you know. So I think the biggest thing here that Blackwater wants to see is they want to see a commitment not just from the locals, but from the anglers that are coming here visiting too, you know. I mean,
And not just a commitment to the fish, but a commitment to
the community.
taking care of the community, taking care of these, whatever spot they decide to open up,
Yeah.
and make sure it stays clean.
Yes.
Keep your trash with you. I mean, all of this is very important. They're trying to do their best to help out here. And like Ricky said, they're trying to alleviate the parking issues while opening up more access to snakeheads.
Well, you know, there's a lot of federal parks that you go into, like, well, Grand Canyon and all that, any of the parks out there, and it's zero footprint. You inventory going in and your inventory coming out, and you better have more than what you went in with when you come back.
You know, and it's just, I don't know what it takes to impress upon people of that fact. You know, take your own trash out.
Yeah.
Take all of it.
I always say if you didn't bring your mother, your maid, take it with you.
And then not just your own trash, but if you see somebody else's trash there, you pick that up too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just today, riding back to the river, what we see, 15, 20 at least deer stands. Old wooden ones, man. I mean, some of them.
Out on the points and stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
just no, in the marsh. I mean, there's a scaffold out in the middle of the marsh.
Yeah, I saw
Big
that.
bright
I
yellow
did see that. I did
scaffold,
see
you know.
that. I did see that.
But I mean, that's what they do, and everybody brings their stuff out there, but nobody ever comes and gets it and hauls it out of
I mean,
there.
how do you? I mean, I saw that scaffold. How in the heck do you even get those kind of panels back there like that?
One piece at a time, man.
Piece at a time.
It's like Johnny Cash building his Cadillac,
Right,
one
right,
piece at a time.
Right.
But I think it goes beyond even just anglers. I mean, just as human beings. I mean, you can ride down any side road with no access to any body of water, and you're going to find trash on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And that's a problem, and we need to fix that somehow.
Well, I think one way to fix that is to let's go ahead and put that up there, right now. So if anybody wants that shirt, right, all you gotta do is in the comments, right? I want that shirt. Let's get back to the program. So fishing wise, what do you like to catch here? What do you go fishing for when you do go fishing?
Mostly rock.
Rockfish. Let me ask you this: have you had a chance to eat the snakeheads?
Oh yeah.
So what do
Love
you
it.
think of that?
Love it.
What is your favorite way that you've had it?
It was just fried.
Fried.
I think
Or
Ricky's
to be
answer.
fried.
Yeah, that's right. I think Ricky's answer is so
Yeah.
typical of people in Dorchester County before snakeheads. If you were going fishing, you're going rock fishing.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what you're going for.
Number one fish.
Yeah. So
Well, I mean, years ago, I'd rather catch a croaker than a rockfish.
Yeah.
You know, but
That whole croaker fishery did definitely change a lot. That's for
Yeah.
sure. What kind of projects is the Friends working on now? Is there anything that you guys got in the works now that you might want to talk about or mention?
well, we I guess they're talking about. We got a couple things that we want help with, and they're kind of in the planning stages. There's other things that need to happen. Some of the trails, the Tubman Trail down
Skid proof.
Hip roof.
Yeah, down on Hip Roof. It is so wet, and it's wet a good part of the year because of what's that Beaver Dam Creek
Oh, Hip
coming
Roof
through
Ferry
there.
is wet a good part of the year.
Yeah. So, if any of you been down there, I don't know. There was a boardwalk put through the woods there on part of that.
I've been there several times.
I kind of helped, mainly engineered that and had some youth conservation corps kids helping me, as well as some other Blackwater volunteers. But that ended up being I think like 120 yards long, and then you stepped off into the water.
Oh, wow.
Because it's just these wet. So there's on the other end of it where the old roadway goes around. We're trying to figure out how we can really do something to maybe get some fill back in there. But you can't take any heavy equipment in there. It's just they'd never make it. So we haven't.
It would be astronomical to cost a stone for.
Yeah.
And it's the same way with a lot of their hunting trails. You can walk them, but the parking access is minimal because it's just.
Yeah. So that's it might be a project that might just end up. I don't know what's going to happen with it yet. I mean, it's up to the refuge if they want to try to work on that and really build it up. What's the best value for the bucks that we give them?
Right.
Because it's not going to be a cheap thing.
Never is.
And how long? The thing is, how long is it going to last?
Right.
So, but they also want to redo the second floor on the visitor center. The Friends actually got grants to put that second floor up there where the observatory and the library are, and they want to redo the displays up there, and it's going to be a big project. We just finished extending one at the Woods Trail. There on the Wildlife Drive. It's it used to be about a half a mile. Now we extended it it's now about a mile.
Oh, good.
So if you take the outer loop, you're going to cross over some bridges, new bridges. We cut and pre-drilled everything at my house, and we loaded it all on a gator and took it over there one bridge at a time, and carried them back in the woods and built them. We've got 2 more to do. We're going to redo the original bridges. That's coming up whenever I get time. and the bugs aren't so bad. Those trails are best traveled when the bugs aren't
That's
bad.
right.
I agree.
Best time is like February.
They're best traveled with a flamethrower.
So you were talking about the I think we can mention that one of the things the refuge is looking at is a fishing pier, and it's going to be near that parking lot where the environmental ed building is. And,
right.
So last year the Friends put in a waterless restroom.
Yep.
Over like $40,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that will be accessible. It's accessible to it's right now it's closed because of COVID,
right.
and the refuge was able to actually put some porta pots in there and have the contractor maintain them. And I think so far it's going okay.
I mean, this is some big news, and I didn't want to throw any spoiler alerts out there. So I'm glad to hear you talk about it, and we've already talked about it with some other people too. Earlier. And I think the neatest thing again here is that the willingness to give us some opportunity to go catch snakeheads.
Well,
this is the thing that I want to point out. I want to point out that Blackwater has done a lot to be proactive, to stay vigilant, and to stay the course, which is to minimize the impact of the northern snakehead in the refuge. So that being said, hats off to everybody involved in that whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I mean, this is big. I mean, this isn't something little.
No.
I mean, this is the thing people don't understand. People, we got a lot of negative Nancys out there that want to leave a comment about that, leave a comment about this. The work that we're doing that nobody sees going on here, on our own time, with our own money and our own stuff is ridiculous. And
the same with Mr. Rick here.
Yeah, and
same thing.
And my point is that, look at what we're accomplishing here together as opposed to being that negative Nancy out there trying to throw a wedge in something every other comment. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's just like when we met with the county.
Yeah, I mean,
Told the guy, we got a lot accomplished that morning, and told him, Eddie's got a store and a young child and another one on the way. He doesn't have time to fish. You and I both have boats. We don't need to fish off of bridges. Right. We're doing it for the cause and for people to have a place to come and enjoy themselves.
Everybody thinks that we're doing this and we're making millions of dollars off of it. That is the most hilarious thing of all of this.
Show me the money.
More than anything, we are doing this to help others. That's the bottom line. It's not so much about filling our pockets, driving a Cadillac Escalade on Dubs or whatever down the road.
Our number one goal has always been to build a better angler.
Yeah.
And that's, people forget that, so.
And that's the thing. I mean, think about it. We got Rick here. We got Marcia coming back. We got Joe coming back. We got Andy Harris wants to be on the podcast. Mr. Jay Newcomb wants to be on the podcast. I mean, a lot of things are changing here, and this is all a direct result of us working together and not against each other. And that's the point I want to keep nailing away at every time. We're not getting anywhere by putting more roadblocks up. We're getting places by taking all these stumbling blocks that are being presented to us and turning them into stepping stones for the future of this fishery. That's the bottom line. You know what I'm saying?
While we're on that subject, you want to talk about the parking a little bit?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and touch on that real quick.
So we talked. I think we talked about it last week too. The plan basically is to have one side of the roads opened up at all these different spots along Maple Dam, DeCourcy Bridge, Drawbridge, all these different spots everybody knows. The plan is to lift the no parking signs from one side and keep the traffic flowing through the other side so there's no impediment. So there's always at least one lane open. And so I think, I'm not exactly sure when that's supposed to happen. So
there's a little bit more to it than just opening it up.
Right.
And anybody that's parked on the sides of those roads know that you're at about probably a 20-degree angle towards the ditch when you park there. And that was one of the things that we talked when we met with the county that they agreed as well is to maybe build those shoulders up a little bit so you're comfortable getting off of the road.
Right.
You don't have to worry about sliding down in the ditch. And it's going to take a little time.
Well, I'm sure Mr. Roy Bradshaw's not very happy about that because if people can't get stuck in the ditches, that means we can't get them out of there.
There's still plenty of deer running around the hills. But and it was a good meeting.
I think the biggest thing that everybody needs to just keep in mind right now at this point is if you're going to park somewhere, make sure all your tires are off the road.
That's right.
Okay, we've had a couple people come on the site and ask about, can I park here? Can I park there? I have seen people park at all the places that you have asked me if you can park, and the people that I saw parked there were off the road in a legal manner, and they were not harassed. Now, I do know that there were a couple of vehicles this week that were not off the road, and they got a ticket. And that's rightly deserved because we've been saying now for 5 weeks.
Longer than that. I mean, the sheriff came to us back in April, I think.
That's what I'm saying.
Before
We've really been hammering it. That's what I'm saying since that post with the sheriff. So maybe it's been more than 5 weeks. But the bottom line is this. We all know how to park a car. If you don't know how to park a car, you shouldn't be driving a car.
Well,
I mean, that's just the bottom line.
That's the whole thing. That's what we met with them about. There's some places you cannot get off the road without getting in the ditch.
That we are not going to get opened back up.
No,
so you have to understand that.
If you can't pull all 4 tires off the road, you're not going to be able to fish there, point blank, period.
That's it. Not until they get it where you can.
Right.
And before I forget, whoever wants to win this raffle ticket today for the guided snakehead trip from the Midshore Fishing Club raffle, comment and give me that ticket. So, I don't know. I mean, the bottom line is I think that it's all common sense, man. That's really what it all is. It's just all common sense. If you can't park, you can't park. You know what I mean? And if you get out of your car and you look and your tire is that far on the blacktop, then you probably should get that off of the blacktop. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, we have one guy this week that literally, I saw the picture of the tire and. Dude, look, man, you can cry all you want. You were on the blacktop, okay? Whether it was 1.5 inches or an inch, you were still on the blacktop. So, I mean,
yellow line.
Yeah.
That's it.
What's your famous saying, Eddie? 9, you're...
The cop told me one time when he pulled me over, he said, 9, you're fine, 10, you're mine. So
it's kind of the same thing, folks. I mean, use your brain here, you know what I mean?
They always just ask me where the fire is.
A lot of folks are asking about some tournaments. Do we want to talk about some? Let's just touch on it. So we have discussed doing some pop-up tournaments here in the next month or 2 or 3, and we're going to be working on some of that. It's not going to be anything of the extraordinary level. It's just going to be a bunch of us having fun, catching snakeheads, and doing our part to make a difference, and we'll have a party when we're done.
Yep.
So maybe what we'll do is a lot of people have been asking about this, and I'm kind of thinking about how we might want to do this. So. A guy the other day messaged me, and he was saying, hey, man, how about a snakehead cook-off? So I don't know how we would do that with social distancing and things like that at this time. You know what I mean? But I like the idea that this guy, Scott, was getting a bunch of people down here and have a snakehead tournament / cook-off, all kind of the same thing. So I don't know how it would work if each individual had their own grill in their truck, like on the side of the road cooking something. I don't know. So look, so we're gonna look into that too and see what we can do maybe with something like that. That would be a lot of fun, I think, to do something along them lines so you could make the best snakehead dish in the world or whatever.
Snakehead chili.
You know, we give away a belt for the best the world champion snakehead. So, you know what I mean? So
A belt with a frying pan on it.
yeah, hey, there you go. Yeah, with a snakehead underneath it. Bam! No, just kidding. No. So I don't know. I mean, what else do we want to talk about? Gary, do you want to talk about any fishing this week that you did, or any lures that you used this week that you thought were better than anything, or what's been going on?
I went Monday with Marcia, came back, went to work. Went this morning with Rick and Kathy, came back, went to work for a little while, and I've got trips all day tomorrow, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday. So
let's talk about your availability, because we do know you got some availability going on. And I want to talk a little bit about the trip that you kind of offer to the public. You know, this isn't really let's go out and catch 3,000 fish. This is a let's go out and let's try to get to the dragon's lair. We know where some big fish are. We're going to try to put you there and get you that double-digit dragon so you can be an official dragon slayer here in Dorchester County. So we do know that you've got, you know, some opportunities coming up. You've got some availability coming up. So tell the folks real quick how they can get in touch with you, you know, to schedule a trip with you, Gary. You know,
you can message me on Blackwater's Edge, or you can call me, just leave me a message on my phone. My number's 410-463-0172.
Hell yeah, I've been trying to get his new phone number for weeks, folks. Now I got it 2 or 3 o'clock this morning. I'm going to be going like crazy on that thing, buddy.
It was new 20 years ago.
You did lose your phone, though, and had to get a new
one. Oh,
one.
yeah, I got a new phone. No. But, yeah, it's well, perfect example. Saturday's trip, I have actually the fellow I'm going with tomorrow just called me a little while ago, so I've got to get back with him. But Saturday morning and Sunday morning's trip, 4:45 in the morning, we're going to meet, probably fish till 9:30, 10 o'clock.
And
come back and siesta till about 4 and go back out.
And for the angler that's going with you, I mean, what are we doing? Are we throwing lures all day? Are we throwing bait?
Yeah. I'm not throwing with bait right now. And here's the thing. You're not going to go out and catch 40 snakeheads right now. Maybe if you catch a little run of them coming under a bridge and you got some minnows, but not casting. It's just they're laying up underneath of the bank. And if you're considering it, I would highly recommend, if you can hit a bucket at 40 feet, 3 out of 5 times with a lure casting, go out in your backyard and set up a bucket and start casting if you want to go, because it's 90% of it or more right now is presentation. You've got to hit them on the head.
And you will be starting your snakehead casting class in a few weeks, right?
Yeah. That's probably one of the things we should do at one of the tournaments, especially for the kids, have a casting contest for the kids.
Well, we plan on having that at the festival,
right?
Yeah.
And so that got nixed. So,
but yeah, it's real important to be able to hit where you're casting, because they're particular right now.
And Gary, what do you charge?
175 for a day for one person, 300 for 2.
That's a pretty good rate right there, buddy. You ain't riding in my boat less than 500 a half a day. I can tell you that right now. No, I'm just kidding. Well,
but it's a good time. If you want to see some nature, you're probably going to see what, dozen or more eagles.
Oh yeah, easily.
You know what I want to ask Rick while we got him here? Nutria. People still talk about nutria. Do we have any nutria here at all?
Well, to the best of our knowledge at the moment, we'll say no. We haven't caught any. I know just about a month ago, the Department of Agriculture folks over at the Refuge were building platforms, and actually we saw one today.
They're brand new.
Yeah, they're brand new, and so what they're doing now is basically looking for scat They have dogs over there that are trained to
Wow.
find nutria scat, and I think some of these traps they put a wire on to try to snag hair if the nutria gets up on the platform. So they've come a long way. I mean, years ago, the Friends of Blackwater actually supported that program for many years. We used to get donations every year to put towards it, and
That's when Steve was here, Steve Kendra,
yeah,
back in those days.
yeah. And so then we years ago they once they got the population down so far, we put radio collars. They trapped some and put radio collars on them to lead them back to, like we call it, the Judas Project.
Right.
And so it was somewhat successful, but now they're having real good success. The Department of Agriculture, their team, they have quadrants set up for the shore, and they look at so many of them, I guess, each year, and they monitor. It's continuous monitoring. You always worry about they don't always have access to private property. So that's if there's an outbreak, that's probably where it's going to be.
On private property.
Yeah. So it's a constant
You
monitoring.
just hear lots of
We-
rumors.
We
that's all.
haven't seen. I know at the refuge. I know for a few years. I don't know the exact.
Carl
number.
Carl Dunnett
Carl Don.
was telling me last fall. I was asking him, and it's been a long time. We're still looking, and there's probably still some around, but
Yeah.
so far, actually, I thought I saw one in April, and it wasn't. It was a beaver, but I thought it was one, and I told him, and they went down and checked it out, and it was a beaver.
So if we could work on getting the nutrient numbers down, we should be able to. We shouldn't have any problem getting snakehead numbers down,
It's
right?
not that easy.
Yeah, well, I'm just
Little bit
thinking right
different
now,
program.
just
Nutrients don't have a place to hide.
After what Rick just said, if we build some snakehead piers up out of the ground with some ramps, we can at least find. No, just kidding.
So but yeah, so we still the kennels that were built over at the refuge. They were by the maintenance shop there. Friends donated air conditioners for the dogs. So, and I think some of the little bit of money we had left, we told them to put towards dog food.
You're going to be getting a call from my dog tonight.
Right? Can I come live there?
Yeah.
Hey, Kathy wants to put one in the chicken coop. So.
So what else? Can you think of anything else, Eddie, that we've been asked this week that we might want to touch on? I mean, I'm just.
No, I think about covers everything we were looking at this week. So
You think anything, Gary? That
No, I will say one thing. If anybody's interested in fishing, about the middle of August is going to be about it for me because I'm gearing up for to go
oh yeah,
deer hunting after that. And,
once Sika open, Gary's done fishing.
and even before, because we start baiting on, and where I go, part of where I go snakeheading is where I hunt. So tough to have two
That's right.
vices.
But in the real world, if we tap out with our limit the first 3 days, then we're back in the water running, gunning, catching snakeheads.
and I thought about doing some guiding, but for Sika deer. But the problem is Blackwater won't let me do that.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to get doing
I
none of
don't
that.
want to make the feds mad.
No. Now I will say before you get into Sunday Fun Day, we do have the angler spotlight of the week that we want to do.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So Eddie started a new thing that we wanted to do here, with just us three here. So Eddie, tell a little bit how we're going to select this angler of the week. It's not by likes, not by nothing.
What we're doing is every week we're going to go through Snakehead Life. We're going to pick our favorite picture out of Snakehead Life that was submitted during that week. You don't have to do anything special. We're going to go through all the pictures that were put on Snakehead Life. And me, Gary, and Kaz, we're going to pick our favorite picture. That's going to be our angler spotlight of the week, and we're going to give them a free snakeheadlife.com sticker.
Oh, free sticker? How about half price? Nah, let's do it. We'll do it for free. That's
So this week, we've got Joel Leaf.
That was a good picture.
That's a great picture.
Yeah,
so,
we like that picture
so
a lot.
Joel, get up with one of us, and we'll get you your free Snakehead Life.
You can pick it up
sticker.
either here at one of the crab stand places or whatever you want to do. But yeah, that was a good picture. We looked at a lot of them. We like that 15-pounder. We like that one.
Yeah, that was
for
good
sure.
with the new PV. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't that we didn't necessarily like a picture or not. It's just what we thought looked pretty good.
Yeah. just ended up being our favorite picture of the week. That's all. So there's no qualifications, no judgments, just whatever our favorite picture of the week is. So, and you get a free sticker. So, Kaz, I think it's time.
Mr. Rick, before we go today, is there anything that you want to say before we wrap this thing up to the public?
I just want to thank you guys for the opportunity to sit here with you. And
we appreciate you coming in.
You know, if you're interested in supporting the refuge, join the Friends of Blackwater. You can do it online. Go on friendsofblackwater.org. Right now, we need all the help we can get. You know, things have been kind of slow. Our gift shop at the visitor center is kind of our bread and butter. It's been closed since.
No bread or butter.
So look, folks, if you want to help out, you can do the same thing that I did a few weeks back here. And I didn't even know we could do things like this. I told Eddie, just popped up on a post that I made and asked me did I want to select a nonprofit to raise money for. And unknowingly, I just typed in Friends of Blackwater to see if it came up, and sure enough, it did. So I put that in with that post, and I think that's, at least a lot of hundreds of dollars were donated. I know that. So
with Amazon Prime.
Yes.
Yeah. Ooh. So it's
there you go. Anybody's got Amazon Prime, you can pick that for your charity.
I think you type in smile.amazon.
Yeah.
I think that's the way you do it, and you pick your charity.
Smile.amazon.
So you just pick your Friends of Blackwater, and I think it's 1% or 2%.
Like half of 1%.
Yeah, something like that, and it goes directly to the Friends of
You
Blackwater.
do like 3 or 4 billion a year.
Yeah.
All you got to do is get everybody to sign up.
We actually just got on there. I know we got like $5 so far. So.
That's a good
We're
start.
going to build an 8-mile pier on Blackwater.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. You got to understand that the more money that we raise, the more opportunities that we can ask and maybe be presented.
Right. Yeah. The more money we can raise for Friends of Blackwater, it goes towards giving everybody more fishing opportunities for snakeheads.
Well, and it's not just fishing. You
Yeah,
heard
no.
all the projects,
Everything
camera
goes
projects,
towards it.
buildings, research,
and the hunting. I mean, Blackwater, all the hunt areas. I don't even know what the acreage adds up to. It's
I
probably.
think Marcia said the other day
12,
they have 30,000
13.
acres, and I think she said it's like 13,000 that's huntable.
It's about half, is what she was saying.
Yeah.
Mr. Tim Robinson said, I'm so glad the newts here are gone. They did a lot of damage to the marsh. Yes, Tim, we are too. We are, buddy.
Made a lot more water.
And while it's on my mind, I do want to just give Tim a little shout out and thank him for the help that he's given us, with Tim Robinson from up at the county went with us. And I think we have another county council meeting coming up, don't we, on the 21st? Is that what somebody was saying? Or am I
21st or 28th, I can't remember.
So I think we're going to be at that, correct?
We're gonna, I think so.
Maybe. So if we need any support, we'll reach out and let the community know. But definitely we're going to revisit that and make sure that we're taking care of the parking stuff.
Yep.
So with all that said and done, I think that it's time. It's the Sunday Fun Day giveaway! All right, folks, look, from our good friends over at Mepps Lures, look. We love Mepps Lures. You love Mepps Lures. Everybody loves Mepps Lures. And look, the more you promote and the more you plug Mepps Lures, the more chances you get to win a beautiful lure like that from the Mepps group. So look, Leroy, you have been putting in a lot of pictures of Mepps with your kids. You've been putting in a lot of work. We're really proud of you. So boom, we're going to give you one of these Mepps this week, Leroy. And then Robert Moffitt, I think he lives down here somewhere. We're going to give you one of these Mepps Lures too. You can come here and you can pick that. Before we get into anything, I want that shirt. Look, here we go. Jason Garrison, boom, there's your shirt, buddy. All right, so you can pick that up down here at Wolford Store. You can make arrangements with me to get that at one of the crab stand locations. And I want that ticket, Mr. Christopher Knobb. We're going to put your name in the raffle for that snakehead trip, so hopefully you will get that, my friend. All right, look, for my good friend Eris Matos out there at wickedstickers.com. Look, folks, if you need anything for your business, pens, hats, shirts, I don't care what you need, toilet paper with your name on it, we'll make it for you. All right, so look, Teresa Fry. All right, we're going to give you that Wicked Stickers, the crab stand prize pack this week. From the Stonebridge Grill, my good friend Mitch. Mitch can cook anything. Look, I'm telling you right now, I had him cook some hog ears last week. They were the best hog ears I ever had in my life. I didn't even know you could eat hog ears. Let me tell you what, hog ear tacos, yeah, folks, that's the stuff right there. Look, Stonebridge Grill is going to give you a $20 gift ticket. And remember, they are open for dine-in with social distancing. The deck is open, and carry-out is also available, and the liquor store is also open, too. And it's right by the crab stand, so when you grab your crabs, you can go there, get your beer, and you go home and do everything that you want to do. So from the Stonebridge Grill, we're going to give a $20 gift card to Brandy Charney. You get that gift card. from my good friend Steve Rogers out there at Outlaw Barbecue in Carroll County. Look, if you haven't had barbecue from Outlaw, look, you just have not had barbecue. It's that simple. Look, he's doing crab cakes this week. He's doing tacos this week. He's doing all kinds of the bread pudding cakes that we like here at the Wolford store. You know, so you can get some of that from out there at Outlaw Barbecue. And he's going to give a $20 gift card to Laurie Ann. You get that gift card from out there at Steve. Look, the Crab Stand, home of the guaranteed #1 Maryland crab. That's all we sell, our Maryland crabs. 100% guaranteed Maryland crabs from caught right here on the eastern shore in the little Chop Tank River, the Honga River, the big Chop Tank River. Look, we got the good stuff here on the eastern shore. So when you want big-ass crabs, you got to come to the Crab Stand. Look, from the Crab Stand this week, I'm going to give away a dozen crabs to each of these folks. All right, a mixed dozen crabs. Barb Berger.
Kapow!
Patrick Butler.
Kapow!
Joyce Monford.
Kapow!
Michelle Smith.
Kapow!
All of you get a dozen free guaranteed Maryland crabs. And look, folks, you know, we leave you every week with our little crabby jingle. Look, when I come into the gas station to get gas and these kids run up and they're singing these songs, does nothing but put a smile on my heart. I can tell you that right now. So look, let's leave you out here at Blackwater's Edge today with a little crabby jingle from the Crab Stand. Eddie and Gary, would you guys like to sing this with me?
Absolutely not.
Gary? Rick?
I don't know it.
Okay. Hey, that means he's eligible next week. See you next Thursday.
That's great.
All right, so look, folks, so here it is, the crabby jingle from the Crab Stand. My crabs, they have 3 first names. It's heavy, full, and fat. My crabs, they have a 4th name. Absolutely mustard packed. So if you ask me where they're from, they're all from right here on the Eastern Shore, folks. I just told you all that. They're guaranteed Maryland #1s. At the Crab Stand, here's a fact I know for sure you're coming back. Kapow! Kapow! And kapow! We'll see you next week, folks.